to have our next presenters with us. You know, I always think that things happen for a reason. A group of us were at TCNJ a couple weeks ago for a principals networking session, and in back of the rider table happened to be a Fizzy Labs table. And we got to talking, and I was totally rolled over by these next two presenters. Then, about 2 weeks after that, I got an email from Roberta and Michelle saying, "Oh my goodness, we met these kids at the NJAGC, you have to have them." I said, "I know exactly who you're talking about." We didn't have any room, but then we had a cancellation, and we were able to fit them in perfectly to this slot today. So Joey and Heidi from Fizzy Labs are our next presenters. Joey started his career when he was 5. Heidi started when she was 4. And you can see they're not much older than that now. They have their own company. They have their own copyrights. I can only pray that my kids are a quarter successful as Heidi and Joey. And mom and dad, proud parents, Joe and Laura, are over there as well. CFO, CEO, CLO, and CHO. So we basically have the entire company here today. So without further ado, let me bring you Joey and Heidi.
Well, hello everyone. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you guys for coming out and hearing us talk about what we do. We have some awesome things to share with you guys, our story, and an awesome curriculum that we want to share with you guys at the end, a special little project. So we also have our prototypes that we're going to be talking about and showing as we go along our journey. And feel free to come up and interact with it if you guys want to. So I think the best place to start out is when I was 5 years old, as Chris was saying. So when I was 5 years old, I was playing hockey, and I still am to this day. It's one of my favorite sports. And I had, in the arena, there were these hockey trading cards that you could buy in one of those vending machines, right? So I got a couple of those hockey trading cards, and after practice every day, I came home and made a game out of it. It started out with just 2 piles of cards with each team. I like the Flyers. And it would usually be against the Devils or the Rangers, right? And and we would have, what I would do is I would put these 2 cards and I would just throw them against each other. And over the course of a couple weeks, my dad, who came home from Washington, D.C., because he was doing business trips back and forth, he saw the progression of the game. And it turned from just 2 piles of cards into a strategic game where each card was making specific movements. Now, I didn't know this at the time that I was creating my first ever strategy game, but my dad did. So what he ended up doing was helping me create my first prototype of my game, which I can show you guys. So later that night, my dad took a piece of board and a Sharpie, and what we ended up making was a visual representation of what I made. Those 2 piles of cards ended up being some pucks made out of a wooden dowel, hence the name pucks, later on. And that morning, the morning after, when we played the game together, I beat him 2-1 and 1-0. So it showed that, sure, I could teach him the rules, but there was an element of strategy to it that he didn't even think of. So over the course of a couple months, years, we started making the game, fine-tuning it, right? And eventually, we came up with our first ever actual prototype, this board right here. So it's only a piece of styrofoam, some stickers, and of course the Sharpie. You always have to have the Sharpie in it. But I saw something even more out of this game that not many people saw. So my parents were walking around with these things called iPhones. Now, to me, I'd never seen these devices before. And I said to my dad, "Hey, this kind of looks like an ice rink. What if we could turn my game into an app?" And my dad's like, "What?" At the time, he was working in Oracle and programming, but he never went into the actual app development field. So this is totally new to him. But one thing that my parents are always good at is they never say no to entrepreneurial and business-minded and creative things. So we found a way to turn this game into an app with the help of a software development company in India called Xcube. And by the time I was 8, I had my first app on the App Store and I was featured on it. It was crazy. Interviewed in Ink and Entrepreneur magazine. I could go on and on. But it was a huge experience because, and like, as a young kid who has their first app on the App Store and it's like super young, like it's a young place at the time. Like there's not many apps on the App Store, and me being an 8-year-old and having an app out there, that's crazy. So I was talking to my friends and all that stuff, and they didn't really understand what I was talking about. And at the same time, my sister was having her own entrepreneurial experiences. I'll take that.
Okay, so now I'm going to talk about myself. Okay, so I'm just going to go here. So I like to play with my American Girl dolls, but I didn't like the clothing that came with them. So I decided, why not make my own? But before I decided this, I loved watching and looking in fashion magazines. So I looked in New York Fashion Week, and I cut out some pictures of outfits, and I said my things that I would change. And then after I made my changes, I would draw them out. And as you can tell, they're not professional drawings, but you have to start somewhere. And after that, I created a website for my American Girl doll clothing. And I created my first design, which was this dress, and you could probably tell my favorite color was pink. So that's why it's all pink and pretty. And when I got my orders, I gave them, let's see where, okay. I gave them these questions to fill out, so I could make their outfit for their American Girl doll, but make it how they wanted it, not how I wanted it to look like. So I had so much fun making all those outfits, but on my journey of making it, I realized that I didn't like the sewing part, which I had to learn by going on YouTube at 4, since my mom didn't know how to sew. So I came to school one day, and I asked my friends if I could outsource the sewing to them.
Yeah, so what we decided, so we saw that problem and we're like, we need to fix this because we wanted to share our awesome experiences with everyone else. But both me and Heidi, we realized that they didn't understand. So first what we came up with was this game where, kind of like Trivial Pursuit. You know what Trivial Pursuit is, right? Yeah. Okay, so think of that, but with business terms. So that's where we came up with the idea called launch. So launch has all the words that we've learned across like our entrepreneurial journeys, as well as many words that we needed in order to describe the words we learned in it. And the journey that you have to take throughout the game is you go through the 5 entrepreneurial islands of E. So the steps of creating your business. You start up, you research, develop, you launch your product, you grow it, and then finally, hopefully, you get to go public and launch your journey, launch your idea, and win, per se, right? So there were many different aspects that never even got to go into the game. One of them was this launch card launcher. I took a couple pieces of cardboard and some of my hockey stick tape and the Sharpie, and I made this card holder, right? Because what we found was that these cards kept on falling all over the place. And none of us like to pick up the cards. Have you ever played 52 card pickup? Yeah, so that was going on with our game. So what I did was I decided to come up with this little simple cardboard design. But unfortunately that didn't get a chance to make it into the actual game. But we do... No? Okay. Okay. So what we ended up making was on one summer evening, well, multiple summer evenings, we came up with a list of entrepreneurial words that we had to define, I had to write them all down, and my sister, she reviewed everything to make sure that it was easy for everyone to understand. What were you? What age were you at the time?
Maybe like 8.
Yeah. So we had to make it so that every child understood, even the young kids. So what Heidi ended up doing was she wrote sentences that would make it easier for everyone to understand the language of business, right? So that was our first game launch. And another interesting story is that we partnered with NJMVP to make it in New Jersey because we wanted to see it be made. Because we didn't really like having it done overseas and not being able to do like quality control, right? Because the worst thing that could happen to someone who's like an inventor is to get your products back and something's wrong with it, right?
And also from Mr. Rogers, that was my mom's favorite show, so she made us watch it. And our favorite part of it was the picture part, where they created like the crayons. They showed us how it was created, and we wanted to see that.
Yeah, exactly. So we have lunch. It's awesome. We met so many awesome people in our community. We went with our YMCA, our Hunterdon County YMCA, and we started talking and doing events with them, right? And one of the things that we did, our first event was with the YMCA, had to be 2 years at this point, right? Yeah, and we had 50-some kids and their parents come, and they were all throwing the money up in the air once our money's in millions, by the way, in this game, because entrepreneurs don't mess around, right? So they were throwing the money, they had an awesome time. But one of these people that were at our event, because we had like community leaders and everything come here, they knew someone at NASA. NASA? That's crazy. So they said that the person at NASA would have loved to see what we're doing and what we're bringing to kids, that our mission is to bring to all kids all across the world, right? So 4 days later, we went on a road trip to the Goddard Space Flight Center at, where is it, Maryland? By DC, right? And we had what was supposed to be an hour-and-a-half meeting turned into a 4-hour experience where we not only talked about both of our games, Out of This World, which I'll talk about later, but we actually got to tour around the whole Space Flight Center. And as kids, like I was 14, you're like 9? Yeah, that's awesome to see. You get to see like I forget what it's called, but you sit in a sphere, and you get to move around at like so many miles per hour. It's crazy. We didn't actually get to go in because we're not trained for that, unfortunately, yet. But it was fun to see. Man, my dad actually liked that part the best. Okay, so do you want to talk about Out of This World?
Sure. So Out of This World is our other game. It comes in a travel edition and a board game edition. It helps you unlock your creativity and come up with the ideas, where launch teaches you the vocab. So we'll show you how it works.
Okay. So basically it's innovation under duress. You have to come up with a product or service based off of 5 random variables in a short amount of time, okay? So the first 2 criteria are dice, which my sister will take out. One of which tells you who you're going to help, and the other tells you where. So let's just say you roll these dice and you get people in space. So you have to create any product or service that helps people in space. Really easy, right? It's fairly easy. Just anything. So maybe like a space hotel, for example, right? But it gets a little bit more difficult. The other 3 variables are these tiles. Now all these tiles, they're homophones. Everyone knows what a homophone is, right? Where that's 2 different meanings. I think that's what it is, right? Yeah? Yeah, okay, I'm good. So you have to pick 3 of those tiles out, and you have to incorporate them into your idea. So let's just say you get, I don't know, pick the 3 out of 3 on top.
Okay, I got pit, crib, and tag.
Alright, so you have to incorporate pit, crib, and tag into your idea that helps people in space. Still pretty easy. You could create a space crib. That'd be pretty cool. But you have to do it in 90 seconds. And that's the hard part. It's something that we've learned on our own experience, that you have to create ideas really fast. Really, really fast in order to stay afloat here in the real world, right?
Yeah, but in that 90 seconds, you get to collaborate with the other players, because no idea is truly made on your own.
Exactly. Each of these ideas, we worked with each other. We didn't work on our own. We didn't go into our rooms and say, okay, we're going to make our own idea, and then we're going to just push it out. It was us together, and our parents included, right? So you can take a look at like the original game board design. This was also a piece of styrofoam and some Sharpie. But the one key difference was that this is like a football field design. What we ended up doing was we wanted to make it seem, so you start out at $50 billion. And eventually it would be at zero gravity once we partnered with NASA and make it all space themed. But you start out at the middle of the pack, right? So everyone thinks that you're close to winning. You're so close, you're halfway there, you're so close to winning. But what they don't realize is that in order to win the game, someone has to invest money into your idea in order to move up the board, right? Because that's that other 90 seconds where you pitch, price, and sell your idea to your competitors. You have to come up with a name and pitch it to them. So you might have thought your idea was really good, but someone else might have not, and they might not invest anything. So an interesting thing that there's the final product.
Yeah.
This is what we came up at the end. So it looks like a flight trajectory, like a rocket flight trajectory, which I thought was ingenious. The money is in billions of dollars because space themed, and you gotta work in lots of billions of dollars with those projects, right? Yeah. So.
Okay, so like Joey was saying, our other board is like a football field, and we always like to point out that this one looks like a football now. It doesn't look like So yeah, we have these 2 games launched out of this world, and now we're developing a curriculum to.
Yeah, so that leads us to today. We have these 2 awesome games, and we're working with awesome organizations like NASA, the YMCA, and even the Boy Scouts of America and their leader program. We just did an event with them, and it was awesome. But today, we went to, 2 months ago, we went to this invention convention that was run by the Henry Ford Museum of American Innovation, right? Where a bunch of like-minded individuals, say gifted children, came up with awesome ideas, awesome inventions to solve a specific problem that they cared about deeply, right? And for us, it was helping all kids release their creativity and their innovation mindset and actually create ideas. For some other people, it was helping healthcare, helping people who are disabled, for instance. There was one person who created a straw that uses recycled plastic in a different way than other recyclable straws. Another person, sticking with the straw idea, created an ice straw. So it just goes right into your drink. It melts as you go along. That way, no material is needed or no material is wasted. It's just water, right? So at this convention, we won 2 national awards, which is really awesome. We won like the Inspiring Change. Thank you. Yeah, we won the Inspiring Changemaker Award and our grade category. Of course, it was in the high school range. So a middle schooler winning in the high school range is pretty cool. So, but we didn't just come back with those 2 awesome awards. We came back with a curriculum. Now that same curriculum, where the kids come up with their awesome ideas, is completely free. It's a free 12-week K-12 curriculum.
And it's also core and MGSS aligned.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we have to make sure that we got that right. Yeah, so New Jersey surprisingly didn't have this awesome convention, right? So we wanted to bring it back so all kids can not only create their ideas and learn how to learn the process of business, learn the language of business, and how to actually innovate and ideate, but now they could take their creativity and organize it into something that they actually are passionate about and create their own product. Which leads us to next month, where we're finally announcing an awesome event, our first national event series with NASA, right? It's going to be here at Rider University. It's going to be an out-of-this-world tournament where 200 middle schoolers and 200 high schoolers are going to come together, and they're going to play out of this world for an awesome prize. And you guys are invited to come out and play out of this world, give some, send some students over, and you guys could play out of this world for the day and meet a NASA astronaut, an actual NASA astronaut who's entrepreneurially aligned. There we go. So he has his own patents. He or she has his own patents, created his or her own business, and gets to speak to all the kids. And not only that, you're at an awesome university where you can meet with professors, right? So you guys are invited. So we have forms in the back or right up here. Where do we have them?
I think they're up here.
Up here?
We'll put them in our NJAGC table.
Okay, so we're gonna have forms in the back where you guys can sign up. So, quick show of hands, who wants to participate in this awesome NASA event? We got a lot of hands, cool. So, you guys get to sign, you can sign up that form in the back. You can, all of the information's
March.
Oh yeah, the invention convention. I forgot to talk about that. So, we're bringing this awesome curriculum to kids all across New Jersey, people in your schools, right? When's it gonna be? Where is it gonna be? Well, it's gonna be March 16th here at Rider University of next year. It's gonna be awesome, it's gonna be lots of fun. I think we're gonna have a couple awesome speakers, maybe even a NASA astronaut again. So yeah, stay tuned, sign up, and do we have anything else?
I have one last thing to say. So I heard the word biomimicry go around, which reminded me of a side project I'm working on. I can't say too much about it, but I can say that it's called UNIMA, which stands for Universe Matters, and it's something that will help save the pollinators. And I'm looking deeper into biomimicry. For example, how plants use the sun for energy, and now we're creating solar panels to use the sun as energy. So that will be a pretty exciting announcement to make when it comes.
Imagine what she'll be doing at my age. I'm done for. But yeah, I hope you guys all sign up. What you see on our screen is our website. I actually learned WordPress in a day and made this awesome site. It's pretty cool. I hate to toot my own horn, but I'm pretty impressed with myself. If you guys still want to think about it and you don't want to sign up immediately today, you can sign up on our website, NJ InventCon 2019. It's all there. You can fill out the form. You can find our games on our website too. Everything's there.
And our website is spelled kind of funny. It's FIZZEEELABS, Fizzy Labs.
You know the Fizzy Lift Room in Willy Wonka and Chocolate Factory? Yes? Guess what our company's named after? Fizzy Labs? There we go. Yeah, so thank you guys all so much, and hope you guys sign up.
Just met Heidi and Joey last week and was so happy to get them involved in this event at Rider. They are amazing kids, and they are examples of what kids can do, should do, will do if they are exposed to the right encouragement and motivation. We're hoping that they get the chance to go all over New Jersey to share their enthusiasm and their games and STEMmy and the contest. So New Jersey Association for Gifted Children is going to help as much as we can get them in front of other kids and educators.
Hi, I'm Lynn Henwood, president of New Jersey Association for Gifted Children, and I just got done hearing the most incredible presentation by a pretty amazing family, Joey and Heidi Hudicka, our young entrepreneurs, and I'm amazed with their courage, their creativity, their innovation, and the way they just were able to get up and talk in front of a really big crowd of educators about what they're doing, and it's really exciting. So I hope everybody will look more into what they're doing and follow them on their website and be inspired to help other kids in your life grow in creativity.